Do you really think 32 PSI is safe for your tires? Today's the day you finally face the truth. Stop setting your tire pressure to 32 PSI. You could be quietly wrecking your tires, suspension, and even braking, and not realizing it until something fails. In the next few minutes, you'll see exactly why this one number is slowly hurting your car, and at the end, I'll show you a 30-second tire reset trick that fixes it instantly. Let's start with the myth. Where did the 32 PSI myth come from? Before I answer, here's a question you should answer first. Who told you 32 PSI? A tire shop, a mechanic, your dad, or just something everyone knows? Because that number did not come from your car. The 32 PSI rule came from old tire shop shortcuts. Years ago, shops needed one pressure that worked well enough for most passenger cars. Not perfect, just fast and convenient. So 32 PSI became the default. Then that shortcut turned into advice. Mechanics repeated it, drivers passed it down, and the internet eventually locked it in like it was a law. But here's the problem. Cars didn't stay the same. Vehicles got heavier, suspensions got more complex. Tires got wider, and pressure sensitivity became way more critical. The advice never evolved. Today's vehicles are engineered around specific weight, balance, and suspension geometry, yet people are still using a number that became popular when cars were smaller, lighter, and simpler. But even if you ignore the old school advice, there's another number that tricks drivers every single day. The sidewall lie. Most people trust the pressure printed on the tire sidewall. It looks official, bold, important. So it must be the correct PSI, right? Wrong. Think about why car brands use OEM parts, including tires. It's because they test and partner with suppliers, so each part fits that specific model. The pressure printed on your tire is not what your car needs. It's the maximum pressure the tire can safely hold, not the recommended pressure for your vehicle. That number protects the tire, not your car, and it gets worse because tire brands vary. Two tires can be the same size, same width, same rim size, and still show different max PSI numbers. One brand might say 44 PSI, another might say 51 PSI. That doesn't mean one is better, and it definitely doesn't mean your car suddenly needs more air. It just means those tires are built differently. Some have stiffer sidewalls, some softer. Some are tuned for comfort, others for heavy loads or long life. Even when the size matches, the internal structure can be totally different. Your car doesn't change just because you changed tire brands. So what really happens when you set your tires to 32 PSI anyway? Here's what starts breaking one step at a time. What 32 PSI can do to your car. Number 1. Higher risk of blowouts and structural failure when tire pressure is wrong. The danger isn't just comfort or tread wear. It starts inside the tire. Tires are designed to flex in very specific ways. When pressure is too low, the sidewalls bend too much as the tire rolls. That bending creates heat, and heat destroys tires from the inside. Over time, internal layers weaken. Steel belts can separate, rubber breaks down, the tire can look fine on the outside while the structure is already failing. That's why blowouts often happen at highway speed long after the mistake was made. Too much pressure causes a different problem. The tire becomes stiff and brittle. Instead of absorbing impacts, it transfers the force straight into the structure. A pothole, curb, or sharp bump can crack belts or cords instantly. And that hidden damage doesn't stop at the tire. The force has to go somewhere. And that's when your suspension starts paying the price. Number 2. Suspension damage and premature, where your tires are the first layer of suspension your car has. They're supposed to absorb small bumps and cracks before that impact reaches your shocks and struts. When you set every tire to 32 PSI without checking what your car actually needs, that protection breaks down. Overinflated tires get stiff. They stop cushioning the road and send sharp impacts straight into the suspension. Shocks and struts work harder than designed. Bushings compress faster. Ball joints take harder hits. Over time, parts wear out early even if the car isn't old. Underinflated tires cause a different kind of damage. The tire flexes too much, so the suspension is constantly fighting for control. That creates extra movement, heat, and stress on mounting points and control arms. Most drivers never connect worn suspension parts to tire pressure. They blame rough roads or bad parts. But once suspension wear starts unevenly, the tires suffer next, and the damage speeds up. And that brings us to the one people feel in their wallet first. Number 3, uneven and accelerated tire wear. Tires should wear evenly and gradually, not fast, uneven, and expensive. Like I said earlier, setting every tire to 32 PSI can create structural stress by forcing the tire to flex in ways it wasn't designed to. When pressure is too low, the edges carry more weight than the center. Sidewalls flex too much, heat builds up, and the outer tread wears down quickly. The middle can still have tread while the edges are already cooked. When pressure is too high, the center takes most of the load. The center tread wears out first, even though the rest looks fine. Either way, once wear becomes uneven, rotation won't fix it. Balancing won't fix it. Alignment won't save it either. Most drivers replace tires early and never understand why. And once the tread wears unevenly, it doesn't just end there, because grip changes. If you've been running 32 PSI without knowing this, hit like, subscribe, and share this before someone learns it the expensive way. Number 4, reduced braking and poor handling. If you set every tire to 32 PSI, your car won't brake the way it should. That number might feel normal, but it often doesn't match what your car needs. Tires with the wrong pressure don't make full contact with the road. Less contact means less grip. Less grip means longer stopping distance. Small steering inputs get weird. Turns feel loose, corners feel sloppy, the car may sway more than it should. Emergency braking gets risky. You hit the brakes expecting a clean stop, but the car drifts or slides slightly. That tiny loss of control can turn a small moment into a big accident. And your car also pays for it at the pump. Number 5, worse fuel economy. This is one of the biggest effects of running 32 PSI on cars that need more or less, but most people miss it because you can't easily see it. Your engine works harder to push tires that aren't properly inflated. Too soft or too stiff creates extra rolling resistance. That means more energy just to move forward. Over time, that small inefficiency adds up. You fill your tank more often and never know why. It's invisible damage that quietly costs you money every week. Even a few PSI off your car's recommended pressure can cut fuel efficiency by several percent. Over a year, that's hundreds of dollars wasted. And here's the scary part. This is usually only one of several tire mistakes happening at the same time. Now, let's fix the real question. So how do you know the exact PSI for your car? The answer is on a sticker almost everyone ignores. Forget the sidewall. Forget the internet. The truth is literally next to you. The sticker inside your driver's side door jamb. That sticker tells you exactly what pressure your car was designed for. Front tires, rear tires, and cold pressure. Engineers calculated it based on your car's weight, suspension, braking system, and load distribution. It's specific to your vehicle, not the tire brand, and not a one-size-fits all number like 32 PSI. Checking it is simple. Open the driver door and look along the door frame. It's usually the only sticker there, and it includes recommended front and rear PSI, tire size, load limits, and cold pressure guidance. That sticker is the final authority. Ignore it and everything becomes guesswork. Now, there's one thing on that sticker that confuses drivers every time. They see two different numbers, pause, and assume something's wrong. Why front and rear PSI are often different when you check the sticker. You might see the front tires have a different recommended pressure than the rear. A lot of drivers think, why would they be different? Here's why. Front and rear tires carry different loads. Most cars have the engine up front, which adds weight. That weight changes contact patch and how much pressure is needed to support the car safely. Rear tires may carry less weight, or in SUV and trucks, they may carry more if the vehicle is designed to haul cargo. This doesn't mean you guess or set all 4 tires to the same number, and it definitely doesn't mean you inflate them to match each other. You follow the door sticker. Those numbers balance the car so suspension, braking, and handling work the way they were designed. Ignore that balance and run 32 PSI everywhere and the ride gets worse. Tires wear unevenly and braking can feel unstable. For example, I normally set all my tires to 40 PSI because that's what my Outback recommends. Even after heavy hauling when pressures might read slightly different, I still bring them back to the same recommended number. It keeps the car balanced, predictable, and easy to drive. But knowing the number isn't enough, timing matters too, and this is where most people mess it up. Cold tire pressure explained. One of the biggest mistakes drivers make is checking tire pressure at the wrong time. Tire pressure changes with temperature. If you measure it right after driving, you get a false reading. Heat from the road and friction warms the air inside the tire, and that expansion can add several PSI fast. That's why the door sticker says cold tire pressure. Cold means the car has been sitting for at least 3 hours or hasn't been driven more than a mile or 2. Check it, then inflate to the recommended number and you can trust it's correct. Most drivers skip this. They check after driving, see a higher number, and either let it drop naturally or inflate too much thinking it's safe. Either way, the car suffers. Uneven handling, faster tire wear, and less efficient braking. And once you get cold pressure right, there's one more thing that can throw your PSI off without you touching anything: seasons. Seasonal PSI changes. Why your tires lose air. Even if you set your tires perfectly today, they won't stay perfect forever. Seasons hit tire pressure hard. As temperature changes, air pressure changes, and that affects ride, handling, and braking. In winter, cold air shrinks. For roughly every 10 degrees F drop, tire pressure drops about 1 PSI. If temps drop 30 degrees, that's around 3 PSI gone from every tire. So a tire that was perfect at 36 PSI can suddenly be at 33 PSI or less. The car starts feeling softer, less responsive, less stable. In summer, heat expands the air. Tires can gain 2 to 5 PSI just from sitting in the sun or driving a short distance. If you fill without checking cold pressure, you can end up overinflated, harsher ride, less road contact, and a higher blow-out risk if you hit a pothole or curb. Spring and fall are tricky because temps swing daily. A cold morning, hot afternoon, and pressure can move several PSI in hours. That's why monthly checks alone aren't always enough. Pressure changes with weather, not just time. Some drivers see the tire pressure warning light on a cold morning and ignore it, thinking it's a bad sensor. But the sensor is often right. Your tires lost pressure from the temperature drop, and your car is warning you before it gets dangerous. Simple rule: check your tires at least once a month, and always when seasons change. Adjust cold tire pressure using the door sticker, not the old 32 PSI everywhere habit. Now, before someone comments, "My car runs fine at 32. Yes, there are special cases when 32 PSI might actually be correct. Some older compact cars, lightweight sedans, or vehicles designed decades ago were built with smaller tires and lighter suspension. Cars like an early 2000s Honda Civic, late 1990s Toyota Corolla, or early 2010s Mazda 3 might have door sticker pressures close to 32 psi. In those cases, 32 psi could be safe for daily driving, but it's still not a universal rule. Just because one car can run 32 doesn't mean yours can. Another rare case, identical brand, new tires built mainly for comfort, not heavy loads. In limited situations, the size and load rating might make 32 psi okay for short trips or light use. But the moment you add cargo, drive long distances, or hit higher speeds, that number can become unsafe. No matter the special case, the door sticker is still your guide. It removes guesswork and avoids the hidden cost of over or underinflating. Now that you know why 32 psi can be dangerous, here's the quick fix. The 30-second tire pressure reset trick first. Locate the door sticker on the driver's side. This is your car's trusted guide. Read the recommended PSI for front and rear and lock those numbers in your head. Next, grab a reliable tire pressure gauge. Don't trust cheap gas station gauges, they're often inaccurate. I posted my recommended brand in the description below. Now check each tire cold before you've driven far. Compare the reading to the sticker. If it's low, add air until it matches. If it's slightly high, let air out until it matches. Do this for all 4 tires. Finally, put the valve caps back on and do a quick visual check. That's it. Do this monthly, and anytime seasons change, and your tires, suspension, and brakes stay in top shape. And even after fixing pressure, most drivers are still trapped by old tire myths, low vs high profile, hidden risks, and tiny mistakes that destroy tires fast.